We'll jump to the NFC South, and we'll start with one of Chris's favorite teams now. We'll start with the Atlanta Falcons. Chris, do you want to start us off and pick your guy from the Atlanta Falcons?
So, like, I'm drafting Bijan in every league.
Yeah.
I would draft Bijan as high as pick 3. I would draft him after Jettas and McCaffrey are off the board. That's how high I would draft him. So Bijan, I think he's going to be the number 1 overall player in all fantasy football. So I think wherever you're drafting him, 6, 7, 8, 9. What is the ADP right now? 8.9. So you're getting him at like 8 or 9. He's a running back 3. I think you're getting a steal.
Yeah.
But other than Bijan, it's obviously Drake London.
Okay.
Drake London going in the 5th round. That's a guy I'm targeting in every 5th round of every single draft I do. He saw over a 20% target share. You expect, hopefully, Desmond Ridder to be better than he was last year. But a guy who's just going to see that many targets is only going to put up more and more numbers. So
I picked Drake London as well. But I will say, if you have the conviction that Bijan's going to be the number 1 overall player in fantasy, why not take him 1 overall?
Well, I don't have the first pick in any league, so I don't have that problem.
That's fair.
I don't want to get violated by my friends.
I wouldn't violate you. I have him as the RB2.
Like, I really do think I would take him over Justin Jefferson. Like, McCaffrey's the only one where I would really question it because, bro, how often do you guys repeat as the number 1 wide receiver? Never.
I picked Kyle Pitts. He's getting drafted as the tight end 6, and his ADP in general is 58. I feel like if you're someone who likes to take your tight end early, he's someone that you should take a look at because he's getting drafted after those guys such as Mark Andrews, Hawkinson, Kittle, Darren Waller, and he's on a team where he has a quarterback that's in their 2nd year. I'm hoping that takes a step forward and he's able to have a good year like people predicted he'd have a really great career. I think he's going to start entering that those years of his prime and start putting up numbers.
It pisses me off so much that they've wasted a few years of his career now because, like, coming out, like, I dead-ass thought this man was going to be the greatest tight end to ever play football. I really thought he was going to be that fucking good. And, like, it's just been so underwhelming, and it's not even his fault.
He still has the potential to be that. It's just depends on his quarterback. And I feel like where he's getting drafted, that's worth the risk, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, the very few mock drafts we've done here on the podcast, I've always ended up with Kyle Pitts. I'm always reaching on a guy like Kyle Pitts. I mean, just the talent speaks for itself. We know what he can be. Sad that he's not that yet, but we know when he is, he's going to be a top 2 round. He's going to be gone in the top 2 rounds when he finally hits that stride.
Yeah, you would hope. Yeah.
And for him going in the 5th round at his ADP at 58, I feel like it's a no-brainer at that point.
Yeah. No, I agree. All right, moving on. Carolina Panthers. I have a feeling we're all going to agree on this one. Yeah. It's Miles Sanders. He's currently the RB20 with an ADP of 53.9. And it's been expressed all offseason that he's their 3-down back and that they want him to catch passes. He's already been one of the most efficient backs when healthy, when on the field. Like, they have a great run-blocking offensive line as well, incredibly young offensive line. There's not much to say except for the opportunity's there. The role's going to be there. There's no competition. Shout out Chuba Hubbard. But it's just
the only thing that'll stop him is injury. That's
it's perfect. In terms of if he stays healthy, it's a perfect situation for him. Like, do you guys all have Miles Sanders?
I do. I also have Miles Sanders.
I had Adam Thielen. I think Adam Thielen going at an ADP of 123.9. He's going after Allen Lazard, Jameson Williams, Odell. I think Adam Thielen's he's a decent bet. I think he's a red zone monster. Like, that man, when they get into the red zone and they're passing, he's going to command targets in the red zone. So he's a guy who could give you a few touchdowns. That late in the draft, like, I don't know, why not? He's not going to be your wide receiver 1. He's not that guy with that type of upside, but as like a flex option when people are on buys and stuff like that, I think he's a good choice.
Okay.
Agreed.
All right. So we all had the same guy. Nice. Except for that. Okay. So let's see who else. The NFC South we got next up, the New Orleans Saints. And again, I'm going with kind of a simple pick here. I'm going with Chris Olave. Currently the wide receiver 12 off boards and a 26.6 ADP. Anytime you could get a potential wide receiver 1, and I'm not talking about just a wide receiver 1 in fantasy football. I'm talking about the wide receiver 1 in fantasy football. And I think he has the ability to do so. I think he has the quarterback to do so. And I think the opportunity will be there as well, given that Michael Thomas will probably get injured as he always does and isn't 100% healthy yet either, by the way, and has expressed that. I think there's going to be an opportunity for 140 to 150 plus targets here. And with a better quarterback in Derek Carr, I think he might end up with 1,400, 1,500 yards and 10 plus touchdowns. So I think at the turn of the 2-3 turn, to be able to get a guy like Chris Olave, it doesn't get much better. So
I agree with you. I didn't really put anyone because I didn't really like anyone based on their ADP like that. But I would, out of anyone, I would obviously go with Chris Olave because he has that upside.
I went with someone different just to be different because Chris Olave is kind of the obvious answer there.
Yeah.
I just went with Jamal Williams. I just think the touchdown discrepancy isn't going to change as much. He's not really the home run type of guy, home run play type of guy. But when it comes to that touchdown production, I think that's going to remain consistent. And it's always nice having a guy who's going to score every week for you.
Go ahead, Chris.
So I went with 2 of the 3 Saints running backs. I picked 2 of them. The ones that aren't Jamal Williams.
Yep.
I picked Alvin Kamara going at right after James Conner. So the RB 26. Get him in the 7th round. That's the lowest you'll ever be able to draft that dude. He's honestly one of the best receiving running backs we've ever seen play football. We know the type of explosions he could have. Yeah, last year was a down year for him, but he still finished as the running back 16. He's going as the running back 26. So there's still value that, he might get suspended, but if you're, feeling confident in your team at that point in the draft that you could take a risk and hope to survive while he's suspended, then you're getting a guy who could be a league winner. And then Kendre Miller, I expect Kendre Miller to take over Jamal Williams' role, honestly.
Yep.
He's just a better football player, and he's younger.
So superior.
Yeah. He has workhorse, like the build of a workhorse back in the NFL. He's big, he's powerful, he's explosive. So I think he's going to carve some type of role out for himself. So where's Kendre Miller going? ADP of
it's in the 130s. Yeah, 140s. Yep.
He's going after Tank Bigsby, after Deontay Foreman, Devin Singletary.
I absolutely target him in all of my drafts. Yeah, I've said it in the past on podcasts. I think they're gonna have the Mark Ingram, Alvin Kamara type thing, but with Kendre Miller, and I think he's gonna help Alvin Kamara immensely. And I just don't see it with Jamal Williams. I get the touchdown production was there last season, but when you have the opportunity to get a younger guy with fresher legs and just far more talented to be able to take over that role, I think it's a no-brainer. Like Jamal Williams will lose his job when Kendre Miller is healthy. But yeah, that's the Saints there as well. And then the final team in the NFC South. This one was pretty easy for me too. But Chris, I'll let you get it started. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who we got?
Mike Evans.
Okay,
pretty simple.
I didn't pick him because I have spoken ad nauseum about Mike Evans in the past, so I picked someone else.
Get him in the middle of the 7th round, ADP of 76.5, going behind Christian Kirk, Tyler Lockett, Mike Williams, all those other guys we talked about before. Michael Pittman, he's going behind. Like, come on. Michael Pittman? Are you serious?
I took Mike Evans also. Like, I know his quarterback is a bit of a question mark. We got Baker Mayfield, but it's Mike Evans. He's a red zone target. I think he's going to have a really good season.
I also took Mike Evans. Okay. I mean, still has his 1,000-yard season streak of 8 seasons now, which is just insane for a receiver who's had his ups and downs with quarterbacks, mostly ups recently. But with last year with Tom Brady kind of falling off a little bit, still was able to do it. I think he'll still be able to repeat that production.
It is incredible that his quarterbacks throughout his career have been like Jameis Winston. Now it's going to be Baker Mayfield, Tom Brady. Like, look at the highs and the lows of what he's had at certain points in his career. I honestly did not take Mike Evans. As I said, I picked Mike Evans in the past as one of my top 5 guys in terms of their average draft position and stuff. So I wasn't going to cover him again. My pick was Rachaad White. He's the running back 27 off the board right now and a 73.7 ADP. And in the range of where he's currently being drafted, there is nobody else in that range that presents me running back 1 upside, top 12 running back upside. Rachaad White, due to the opportunity and the lack of competition, presents me with that type of upside. Is his efficiency good? No. In his rookie season, it wasn't. But apparently in camp, he's looked a lot better, a lot faster, all the good stuff, all the stuff that you want to hear. And I didn't even mention his pass catching ability yet. He's one of the best pass catching backs in the league already, with like near a 90% catch rate. So I just think Rachaad White has legitimate running back 1 upside, and to get a guy like that in the 7th round, 6th round, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer for me.